Hey, Chris Jenkins, credential member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People. You have a friend in the media, which is myself. Welcome to our show that we always do the day after a game, whether that game's on a Sunday, Monday, Thursday. Yeah, I know, all the games this week are on Sundays. We do this day after show where you, the viewer, is the show, are the show. Meaning, the show's 100% dedicated to you guys and girls calling in. Let me know your questions. Let me know that you want to vent. Whatever it may be. Like, I just like to make myself available to you all to talk about this Carolina Panthers football team, good, bad, or indifferent. So there is a link that is in the description. Let me know how well you guys can hear me, by the way, and let me know if you can see me all right. But there's a link in the description, and I'm also going to pin it in the comments. And strongly encourage you to use those links to come on the show and talk to me. So I think it's a pretty cool thing. Not many media give you the opportunity to just be on their show and kind of run their show. But I do, because that's just how nice I am. So give me just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and pin this link in the description. Boom, almost done right there. All right, so that link is now also pinned in the description for you guys to click on. Join the show, talk talk to me. Let's see, did you guys confirm if you can hear me good? Is it too loud? What is it like right now? Once I get a confirmation from you guys on that part, then I will dive a little bit more into the show. But as I wait for you all to confirm that the sound and audio quality is good, let me just tell you, I literally just got back to Charlotte. So there's some news that I was just now getting caught up on because I was traveling. And I just like to be honest with you guys, let you know, I have not even looked at or seen the press conference from Dave Canales today. Now, we will go over that together. But I literally just got into my studio from being back in Chicago. Thomas Frisby, thank you. He says it's good on his end. I'll wait for one more person. And then we're going to start talking about this Panthers team. And what I will do until the questions start to come in is I will just start to rattle about things that I want to talk about, that I think are important to know about this team. Let me know this from you all. Start off with a question. Number one, I like to ask, where are you from? So go ahead and type it in the comments. Let me know where you're from. And then if you really want to get talkative, let me know how you feel about this team currently. But also, comments can be used to ask me questions if you want to just hide behind the keyboard. You can do that, but I like to interact. So hopefully some people will come on and show their face and interact. Did we get to more people saying that we were good to go? Leonard Kowalski said we're good. So that's two people that said we're good to go. All right. I know the big thing today is we got some injury updates. So I'm definitely going to dive into that some more. We have some injury updates, and one of them is very significant, and that our starting center, our first-year starting center, and he has been doing a good job as starting center, Austin Corbett had an injury with his bicep yesterday, and today it has been confirmed that Austin Corbett will be out for the remainder of the season. Austin Corbett will be out for the remainder of the season. And then the other big news, and I'm going to try to touch on them all here again. I did not have a chance to get notes completely together because of literally just getting here. But also, Taylor Moton, tackle Taylor Moton, the man who has not missed a game since, I strongly believe it, since he came into the league. But nevertheless, Taylor Moton will miss this week's home game against the Atlanta Falcons. So that's 2 out of 5 people that will be missing already. Austin Corbett, your center. Taylor Moton, your tackle, going to be out. So some tough sledding ahead for this Carolina Panthers football team. Very tough sledding. So let's go ahead. I see we've had some people telling me where they're from. So we got a little bit of outside of Toledo, Ohio, joining us. We got Chico, California. Honestly, this team has been plagued with some injuries for what I feel like are several years. So, yeah, definitely we we got some bad luck going with injuries. We got Frank tuning in from Winston-Salem. Appreciate you tuning in, Frank. How's it going? We just keep getting, yeah, it's a lot of bad luck, man. It's tough. It's tough. Ali, he's from Brooklyn, but currently living in Columbia, South Carolina. Appreciate you. And then I got a good question. Here was my time. How do I say this name here? Demond Ice? Demon Ice? I'm going to tell you about Chicago. I will absolutely tell you about Chicago. Let's go ahead and bring on my guy, my reliable weekly caller. Let's see here. And guys, let me know if you hear feedback while we're talking. Thomas Frisby, my weekly caller, what's going on?
Not a lot. Not a lot, Chris. How was your trip back?
The trip back, maybe I'm becoming like an old fart. I'm becoming more and more agitated with people at the airport. It just blows my mind. I try to be like, I don't have high expectations. I know there's going to be a lot of idiots around me, but I don't know. I may need to start figuring out a way to travel by private jet before I get
No, that's
arrested.
me on an everyday basis. Just dealing like I just shake my head going, how did a lot of you get so far in life? But that's besides the point. But I mean, I know you said you haven't been able to touch upon a lot of the injuries, but I just why can't we have anything nice? I mean, it sucks. I mean, just when you think the offensive line's going to do well, we have Corbett getting hurt, same injury. So there's that. Then you have Joel, whatever his last name is, the linebacker. He's hurt from
Josie
last
Jewell.
week.
Yeah.
Then you have Morton. He's hurt. And then you have, my God, Tom Shack is still out. It's just injury after injury after injury. It's like, first of all, it's like, A, are these people made out of glass? But B, it's just, I think I kind of blame this on the whole lack of depth thing. It's like, you don't really have anybody quality to bring up. So that's one thing. I mean, injuries I think is going to plague this team for the rest of the season. Second of all, it's like, first of all, when I keep seeing all these pundits say that how good of a game Caleb had. Okay, first of all, he played the Panthers. I mean, come on. I mean, just the way they were decimated. I mean, yeah.
Uh-oh. All right, Thomas, your internet connection is getting a little gimpy. And nobody's told me that they're hearing an echo yet, so I'm assuming we're good on no echo. Please let me know.
Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you try sitting outside.
Far away from the Wi-Fi. Come on, Thomas.
Gotta love the Ohio crap up here. But no, it's just one of those to where it's I don't know. Here what 1-4 I think now, and
Yeah,
it's
we're
going to be
1-4.
a long season. I mean, it's too early to pull the plug on Dalton. It is. Don't get me wrong. But now teams have film on him, so they're going to know like, hey, if we do this, and that, he'll try to push the ball down deep. But he got picked off. But I don't know. I went into the season cautiously optimistic, but now it's like, I don't know. Now they're at home against Atlanta, and honestly, with how when I see home games on TV, it's going to turn in probably you'll see a lot of red in the stands because it seems like anybody that comes to the Bank of America is the opposite team. So I don't know. This is just it's getting frustrating. I mean, it used to be like they would suck for a couple years, get good, suck again, but it's just straight up sucking. But I don't know. I don't know what situation's worse, the Panthers or the Browns. So at least we, at least we don't have Watson on our team. So I don't know. There's that, but I don't know. It just seems you just feel numb at this point.
Yeah, you can feel numb at this point. And, one of the injuries, again, I didn't write it all down, so I might be a little scattered with talking about the injuries. But Tommy Tremble with his concussion, obviously he's going to be out and miss some time. So you got Tommy Tremble, you got Austin Corbett. Well, Tremble's out, week to week as he goes through that concussion protocol. Corbett's out for the season, and then Taylor Moe's out for the week. But Andy Dalton, no, I don't think you give up on Andy yet. I feel like
You
we
can't.
got to have some consistency, right? It's like everybody knew that Bryce was doing bad, and Andy came in. It was like, yes, we now have a decent football team, and then Andy had a bad game, and so I got to look at the film a little bit more to see how much of that was Andy, to see how much of that was play calling, because that first half with Andy just seemed so outrageously weird that he wasn't able to put the ball downfield. I know he said he didn't like the looks they were giving him, but man, what on earth were they giving him for the red rifle to suddenly just be Mr. Checkdown King? It was crazy. But then you saw in the second half, it started to open back up where he was putting the ball downfield. Unfortunately, his deepest ball downfield was intercepted. That was intended for Jonathan Mingo, and Mingo, my man, he just continues to have some plays that just kind of look goofy. Because that play where he got the interception, he actually helped the guy out. He was trying to push the defender away from the ball, and he actually pushed him into the ball and got the interception there. So I don't know if I lost you, Thomas, due to some bad internet. I give him another second to see if he can't come back in. But as well, and he's gone. And then as far as how bad we're playing, yeah, the defense was just terrible, absolutely terrible. And Thomas is coming back. Defense is absolutely terrible. Not giving. I mean, they gave Caleb the opportunity to make plays with his legs, make plays with his arms. They gave
Yeah, I.
Swift a chance to just run down the field, seemingly like at
Mhm.
will.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like they started out running the ball so well, Carolina, and they just kind of just stopped. And it's like Cuba had like a 38-yard run for a touchdown, and when I'm like, okay, here we go, all right, everything's great, everything's fine, just like that meme. And then all of a sudden, it was like an avalanche. It's like, oh God, they just literally, their defense, you can tell the injuries are starting to take a toll on them. So now it makes me wonder at the end of the season. It's like, does Canales pull the plug on Ivero? Now, granted, injuries is not his fault. You can't blame that on him. But it's like, eventually, does he want to have a clean slate and have like, okay, now I'm going to have everybody I want on this team because of the fact that the defense hasn't improved, even
Yeah,
though you have the injuries.
I appreciate you bringing up that Evero part, man. I actually love that you brought that up because I feel like if there was an overreaction by Carolina Panther fans, it's the one to say fire Evero.
It's
Because
too early to fire anybody.
like you just can't be like hot reaction, hot reaction, hot reaction. Like
Yeah.
we'll have so much constant turnover that it would be ridiculous. It would be impossible to form a team and a culture around here. I mean, how quickly do we forget that this team pretty much blocked Ivero from getting coaching jobs in the NFL during the offseason in an attempt to hold on to him. And he's been paid pretty well.
Right.
So he had the same issue last year where we had a lot of injuries that happened and he was okay. Well, this year he still has even less talent. And it's pretty much not able to,
Yeah.
he's not able to keep it together. So there's no reason that you want to even use him
Pull
as
the
a
plug.
scapegoat. And you know what? Not Ivero, but Canales has said many times how much he has just loved being able to be on the same side as Ivero, and how many times he's been on the opposite side, the opposite team, and he's trying to coach against him, and he's just good. So I don't see that happening.
I
I'll give
think
you.
I think as fans in general, this is just speaking in generalization now. I just think it's getting to the point to where a lot of fans are probably just like wanting the scapegoat. It's like they get so impatient because of the fact we're just so used to letting somebody go to where now it's just what we expect. It's like, okay, now who's next? Is it going to be this person? Is it that person? Is it this player? But it's like this season, I feel is like a wash because of the fact when I think you might have posted this earlier to start the season or during the summer, I can't remember, about Carolina was $46 million in dead cap,
Okay.
and when you're in $46 million of dead cap, you can't do anything. And so that's clear, but then again, that's the previous person that shall remain nameless now, and it's because of that. But now it's like, can Morgan fix this since he was kind of the right hand man? But I don't know. After this year, it's like now can we bring some quality pieces in? And yeah, no, I feel like Canales should still be on board for next year. He's trying to do his best. I mean, you can't just turn it around in one season. He's a much, in my opinion, a better fit than Reich ever was. Reich just seemed awkward, if that makes sense. I mean, like when he had that game ball or won that first game of the season last year, when he was doing this little chant or celebration, it's like it was very cringeworthy. But I don't know. Yeah, it's still too early to tell, but I still don't think if they are 1-7 at trade deadline, I don't think you do a fire sale and get rid of all your key pieces, because that's our problem. We get rid of all these people that are good, get nothing back, and then we're in the same predicament every year. Every year, just the cycle repeats. That we got to keep some pieces if we still want to be relevant.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, Thomas. Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Yeah. You.
Good to see you.
Yep. Have a good night, Chris.
You as well. Yeah, you gotta. It's hard to say have patience when your team seems like they are in perpetual dysfunction. I don't think we're in dysfunction right now. I really don't. It's just you do have a lot of years of just things being bad, and it's hard to be patient when you're like, all right, here we go again. We have the injury bug that's getting us. So patience is needed. No fire sales needed. And this was a pretty bad game, 36-10. Very, very bad game. And the defense is the biggest thing that needs to be fixed. And, we may have to go towards that whole, oh, man, Steve Wilkes kind of thing with running the ball. Because even though we may start to get behind pretty bad, we need to keep the defense as fresh as possible, and we need to try to keep maybe hoping that we can get some turnovers on the defensive side. That's been one of the things that they preached so many times. We heard in OTAs and training camp was keep punching at the ball, punching the ball. It's a numbers game. The more times guys get in there and hit at the ball, that increases the opportunities that you'll get a turnover. So if we're playing this ball that's maybe kind of boring, maybe it's not allowing us to push the ball down the field as much, but we're controlling the clock, and then we wait for that opportunity for the defense to give us a bonus possession, and then maybe we can start to get ahead. Those may be some of the tactics that we have to try for the remainder of the season, because I didn't have a chance to look it up. As you guys know, I'm saying I just literally got to Charlotte from Chicago like 10 minutes before going live. But this team on the defensive side has been like, they're getting beaten streaks. Like they're getting walloped, in the sense that they get all these consecutive possessions where they just cannot stop anything. And that means you have a terrible defense. It started the first week in New Orleans. I forget how many, 8 or 9 consecutive scores. And then the other day in Chicago, let's see if I have it in front of me. So the Bears had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They scored on 5 out of 7 straight possessions in this game. 5 out of 7. Now let's go ahead and go back to the previous week with the Bengals. First thing, punt. Next thing, touchdown, 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 punt, field goal. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 possessions. And bear with me here. We'll go for one more. We'll go back to the Chargers game. The Chargers game, it was actually a little bit spread out. Looks like not until, I can't tell what half this is, but they had a touchdown. Yeah, so the Chargers kind of spread it out. So, but you see there when I go through there, and if you guys want me to do it again, I'll look at another. All right, well, one more. But it's my point is there's bunches. They get so overwhelmed. See, Bears, Bengals, Well, yeah, and we know the Saints, so I kind of did go through them all. The Saints, man, they had touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. Then they took their starting quarterback out, and Sarah, that's what you have. And at that point, that's like you got a major defensive problem. You got guys that have been going out due to free agency. You got guys that are out due to being hurt. And you've been picking guys up at one point that you sign them on Monday and they're starting on Sunday on the defensive side. And now we're trying to do stuff like I mentioned the other day with getting Marquise Haynes back. Like these guys, they're trying, but it's like once you're into the season, so many players are on their teams, you don't have a lot of things that you can do. You can't just like what do you can't make the draft come tomorrow and get more players. You can't have contracts of other great players expire and try to rule them in with free agency. You're just really stuck. You can't do much about it except try to scheme and game plan with what you have and try to be like, how can we get it to where we're going to bleed, we're going to limp, but how are we not drowning? A little bit of a rant maybe, but just I want to keep you guys informed about everything. We had a caller that called in and jumped off. If you don't mind, if you're able to come back on, that would be great. Meanwhile, until you do, we're going to keep on rocking through it. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I did not have a chance to listen to Coach Canales' press conference today. I usually don't do things like this where I just play the whole video with you guys. But in the interest of making sure that I am informative, let's go ahead and check out Canales' press conference today. Day after press conference, well, it gives us a little bit more information about the team.
All right, so looked at the film, watched it with the guys. To start off, critical variables, right, go right to it. So we're -3 with the ball, 2 fumbles, the interception, 17 points off of those turnovers right there. That makes it hard. And then we had a failed 4th down in a 2-minute drive at the end of the half. And we didn't really use a lot of that time on the clock, so gave them another opportunity. They went down the big screen play, got another touchdown, so 24 points really off of turnovers. You count the failed 4th down, and so we have to be better there. Contact fumbles, just securing it in some of those situations, and then, certainly taking a shot down the field. Did you have to take shots at some point? And we came up with a nice play. Byard did on that play right there. Then you kind of go down the road, and 3rd down, we had a 0 for 7 in 3rd and manageable, and then we made some longer distances on the 3rd downs, which were good to.
Now, overall, so 3rd down. Let's talk about 3rd downs for a second, because he just mentioned 3rd down. So 3rd downs through the first half, Carolina. So to be clear, we have offensive and defensive problems. Offensive is the bigger problem. 3rd down, like here in the first half, we were 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. 0 for 6. That's pretty awful. That's pretty awful. And then we're letting them score every single time. Again, I don't know what kind of play calling they were doing on the defensive side to have the red rifle, not be able to get the ball down the field. I'm going to show a graphic real quick, and then I'm going to get to, looks like Mario that's called in. So, Mario, give me just 1 second. I'm going to pause things and get to you. But here's Andy Dalton's pass chart. I post this every single week. I have been doing it for a while since he came in against that Seattle last year. I don't know, week 3, week 4. And you see, look at this. At the top of the screen, he threw a ball about 45 yards. That was good. And a lot of these, now you do see overall this chart looks okay, looks fine. He's throwing the ball down the field. But I wish they had the ability, and I'll look into it to see if you could break it into halves. Because I know that first half, he did not throw the ball down the field like we're seeing. And I don't think they give me the ability to split it up between halves. But I know it was in the second half where they finally started getting the ball down the field a little bit more. So We can come back to that, but I don't want to keep my man waiting. Uh-oh. Don't be getting pulled over when you call him, man. If
Can
you
you, I don't
do,
know if you can hear me.
I can. You
Can you
not.
hear me?
Hey, come on, man. You look like you're running.
Oh no. You know I'm on this 77 traffic. You know how it is in Charlotte.
Yeah,
77. Wow, you gotta be on your P's and Q's.
please do.
Oh yeah. I was just trying to figure out how to call in. I just wanted to show my support more than anything.
Hey,
I watched the game some. I've been watching you since I was back in Richmond, Virginia. Man, I appreciate you.
oh,
Now I'm back. Now I'm here in Charlotte, so I got to come check you out one of these days. Try to catch you at the stadium for sure.
please do. We do our pregame shows right at the Honeywell building beside the stadium, man. It'd be great to have an opportunity to
Yeah,
meet you.
yeah. I've been watching y'all different Panthers podcasts. I used to do something called the Trash Talking Circle back in the day.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I got to thank Rashad and Dave. I watched them a lot, along with the C3 podcast. I got to catch up with everybody. So
Yeah.
it's all good. But
Glad to
yeah, I
be
just
part
want
of
to
your
come on here and show
rotation.
my report. Yeah. I appreciate y'all doing what y'all doing, and you getting those interviews. I got to get some questions in myself. But as far as the game, I basically missed the first quarter because I was asleep.
Oh,
When I got up
you missed
second,
a good
third,
part of the game. Come on.
right, right. I'm going. I'm like, where's Leggett? I'm like, where's all my people? They said people went out with hurt, and I'm coming in. I'm seeing Jadeveon Clowney getting rolled up and everything. I'm like, oh man, it was a bad game that we played. Plus injuries didn't help at all. So I just take it as is. But I think I'm a different type of perspective. I think a lot of our Panthers fans have been kind of like tripping, have super high expectations when we don't have the personnel to achieve some of these goals that people have. So I'm just this is a like sit back, wait and see what we can do, what we have type of year. You know, that's how I play it.
Yeah, and it's a lot of like to some degree though. I do understand like it's hard for fans to be in any place other than stir crazy, right? Because it has been so many years
Right.
of bad, so many years like I just want to have some hope. And then when Andy come in, you kind of feel like, okay, well we can have a
Oh
decent
yeah.
ball game to watch every single Sunday. Then you have this one, and you feel like, oh,
Oh
we're
yeah.
about to relapse. But I'm not gonna be pissed off yet until and if we have a bad game against Atlanta, then I'll be like, ah, God darn it. Because at that point we'd be one
I'll
and
be I'll
five,
be slightly upset. Yeah.
and then it's gonna be like, oh, and now I gotta fly to Germany to watch a beat down of who knows what. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. I feel you. Nah, I feel you on that. Nah, I feel you on that for sure. Yeah, I just appreciate the season, man. I'm glad that we got a head coach, man. I don't know if anybody else can feel it, but I see it. We actually got, to me, competent coaching compared to what we done had in the past. I mean, to know the personnel that we have to do what they can and do what they've done, I'm happy. I listen to other people, but I think they have unreal expectations. I mean, you got somebody out there. One of our defensive ends is named Peavy, Anthony Peavy, I believe.
I think it's
Stuff like that. That's a starter. Like, no disrespect, he in the NFL, so he way better than what I'm doing as far as athleticism. But who is he? It's like we don't have any names right now, and Clowney's down. So and Brown went down first game. So I don't have those type of expectations. Draft it is. Wait till next year. Just get through this year and appreciate the gems that we got. Because Wallace, that middle linebacker, how he had caught that dude in the air and dumped him. My type of play right there. That's Panther football. So yeah, little gems like that. I appreciate. I want to see who shows up throughout the year. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be ugly, but I'm just sitting back and riding and don't have any expectations. Just want to get through the year. Hopefully, no more big time injuries. We've been getting decimated by injuries. So,
Hey,
hey, man. I
if
just
you
wanted to call
can,
and just say what's up. I didn't want to take too much of your time and stuff.
yeah, as you close out though, tell me a little bit more about why you like Canales. Let's close out with that.
Canales?
Yeah.
Me, uh, I'm more of the energy. See how he responds, how he handles himself in the interviews, and how transparent he is. Only thing he has kind of tricked me on is, or tricked us on is running.
Bryce.
He said he was gonna run the ball a whole bunch, but he hasn't run the ball. Now I wasn't really tricked on Bryce. I was with Bryce because of what happened to him last year. with our offensive line, I was hoping that he would be better, but with him, it's all about his confidence. So a coach can't make you be more confident. They can put you in positions to make you feel better, but if your confidence don't kick back up yourself, eventually, if you don't have little things to get you going, you
Yeah.
just lost. So hopefully Bryce get back on his own. But I don't put that on Canales because that was last year. That wasn't his problem. He didn't get Bryce beat up all over, get slammed. But as far as Canales, as far as the head coach, players are behind him. When you see a players behind him and they giving them their all, and players are playing hard out there. And our offense, we have an offense. I don't know what we haven't scored points in I don't know how long, man. I enjoy this. Appreciate it. More than 3 points, more than 10. Oh man, we get the shootouts again. You know, we got blessed by Cam, man. We got spoiled by being with Cam. So to get back to the reality, you got to get back to the real football mindset and just slow down. We got to build this. We just got to build it right though.
Yeah.
Take the people to build it right. If we don't have the people to build it right, we gonna be in what we've been in. But as far as Dave Canales is in the right direction for me.
Okay. Appreciate you so much, man, for just checking in. Thank you so much. Look forward to
For
meeting
sure,
you.
man. Yeah. Hopefully I get to do this again. Hopefully we side by side or something when I'm doing it next time.
That'll work.
All right, man. I
Take
holler at
it.
you, man. Y'all
All
be
right.
safe, and I holler at all y'all Panther fans, man. Y'all be safe. Keep pounding.
All right, all right. So again, links in the description for anybody that wants to call in. I hope that you do. The show, the day after the game, is always 100% dedicated to going through the comments, but also really wanting a lot of people to come online, vent, say good things, be indifferent, whatever you might want to be. Ask me some questions. I'm here for you. That's why I call myself the man of the people. So we're going to continue to rock through this Dave Canales press conference that he had today and share some comments on it. Let's continue to rock through this.
Keep some drives going, but when you go for 7 in the manageable areas, throughout the game, that's where it really just kind of limits getting to your menu and getting to some of the things offensively that we were able to get to the 2 weeks prior. So what does that do? It kicks your defense back out there again, on a day where the Bears played fantastic and, Caleb Williams scrambled around, made some great plays. They got a bunch of skill players, which we knew. And our guys didn't have a bad day on third down, unfortunately. 10 explosives. We gave up big plays, so the third down story in there kind of gets, washed out because of the explosive plays and changing the field and the turnovers. So, and then in the red zone, we're 0 for 2. They were 3 out of 4 touchdowns there. So in every single critical area that lead to success on Sunday, we got beat. And, from a coaching standpoint, we're looking at our schemes, we're evaluating all that.
So I'm going to pause this for a second. This is the longest opening statement that I have had witness of Dave Canales on a game, the day after the game press conference. He's been talking now for a little over a minute and a half, just straight. But to the previous caller's point, and I forget the name, I think it might have been Mario, but I don't want to call my man out of his name. Do you appreciate Dave Canales as a coach and what he's saying? Now, every coach isn't going to be dead perfect. I know a lot of people are going to talk about the run. I'm going to dive into that a little bit in a second here. But he's a first-year coach, only in his 5th game coaching. So take all that into consideration. Say, okay, well, obviously we want him to be perfect. We want him to not make any mistakes. But is he doing good? Do you feel like he is? He is trending now. Like what he has to work with is a little bit different. But do you feel like Canales is trending in the right direction? Let's go ahead and play a little bit more of this press conference from today.
The players, they want to get their execution right. They want to work on the fundamentals of our principles and our calls. But again, it all starts with effort, and I loved the effort that we got. The film shows a team that's playing really hard. It's about execution. It's about owning our concepts on both sides of it. I watched the special teams units progressively get better. We took steps back in areas offensively. The run game was still 65% efficiency, which was fantastic. Would love to have more of them. I look up at the clock, next thing you know, we're in the first half and we're down a bunch of scores, and we got to throw it a little bit to try to work ourselves back into that game. So the whole thing, complementary football, like we talked about, we did not get that done, and that's something that we're attacking again this week.
A number of injuries obviously coming out of the game yesterday. What
Yeah.
have you heard about the status of the two guys?
Yeah, so Austin Corbett had a torn bicep. He's going to have surgery, and we're going to lose him for the season. And that's just, again, just another blow with a guy that just stands for everything that I believe in. The work ethic, the practice habits, the professionalism, his positive outlook in terms of what can be on the next drive, just continuing to work, and control the things that he can control. So definitely, my heart is with Austin.
So I'm only going to play about another
and I really
minute of
appreciate
Dave
him,
talking
again,
to
just
get you
for,
guys up to date.
getting this thing, starting to go in the right direction, just
Again.
with his attitude and the way he approaches things. So a big loss there. Taylor Moton's got a tricep. He's going to be week to week. We'll have more information as we kind of evaluate him and test him and move him around some. Clowney, Xavier, shoulder, that's their day-to-day. So we'll just take that as the week goes. And then anybody else I'm missing? Tommy Tremble's in the concussion protocol, so I'm going to leave it at that and just kind of they'll be evaluating him as we go.
So did you hear all of those injuries? Tommy Tremble, Jadeveon Clowney, Xavier Legette, Taylor Moton, Austin Corbett. Man, that is a list of injuries. So again, I'm going to play a little bit more, and then we'll continue to answer questions here and talk about this Panthers team. Again, links are in the description to come on the show, comment, question, criticism. I want to hear it. I'm here for it. Let me know. I also pinned that link in the description. In the comments. It's in the comment and the description. So all you need is a computer with some internet, and you're able to come on and let's talk some football.
Been through this a couple times this season, losing key guys on
Yeah.
offense and defense. Understandably, you have to think forward and continue to coach the guys
Yeah.
out here. But what kind of emotional toll does that take, losing so many leaders throughout the course?
Yeah, it definitely is a challenge. It's a challenge for all of us. It's a challenge for the players. It's a challenge for the coaches as we have to, figure out who our new guys are, and they're around us and they know our schemes. But again, build this thing, and we try to get this thing on the right track.
I skipped a little bit.
Want to be a part of this, and so that part of it for sure.
Will you start the Falcons game with the same front five as you ended yesterday?
Offensive line wise, Taylor will not be in there right now with the tricep.
In terms of who you ended the game, I meant Christensen.
Oh, right.
And Josh.
That's what we're counting on right now. Yes.
Dave, can I ask you to clarify some of the comments that you made yesterday regarding
Sure.
Bryce playing
Yeah.
and also protecting Andy, but also having the offensive line?
So, interactive show. I know what questions are about to be asked. I'm going to jump back into the comments. This will be the last part that I play from Coach Canales. But I want to certainly hear from you guys about this question and answer right here, okay? Whether you click on the link and come on live or you hit the comments. I am telling you, I want to hear from you about these comments right here. And if you're watching, you hadn't hit the like button, cost you nothing, does me a world of good to help this channel continue to grow, help me continue to have players and coaches on the show. All right, so again, pay careful attention to this part and comment.
Yeah.
Switching up. What was the overall logic now that you've had 24 hours to kind of?
Yeah, really the logic was this. The game was out of hand. This is an opportunity to get Bryce in there, let him play football, and we had some time on the clock. And the cool part was we manufactured a pretty good drive out of that, and we're able to get some valuable reps. And that really that's my always that approach and thought process as we go into things, like what does this game look like going into the end of it? Are we within reach of working ourselves back in? If we're not, are there people that we can get valuable reps? Jalen Coker having some nice plays in that situation, and obviously Bryce, go in there being able to play and just be out there with his guys and play ball.
And then to follow up on that, regarding the offensive line,
Yeah.
Josh and Brady are two pretty, they're better.
Oh, well, we'll cut it off there. So, yeah, what do you think? All right, so let me go ahead and go through some of these comments here as we get towards the later half of the show. And let's see what we have. All right. Do you think Andy is regressing? What's up? This is one of our members, so our members always get some special love from me when they sign on to the show and ask a question. No, I don't think Andy is regressing. Number one, Andy's, I believe, a 14-year vet, so it'll take a whole lot for him to regress. And what is he going to regress to? I mean, he's been a very solid quarterback for his career. So we're not worried about Andy regressing to something that, oh, he's had troubles doing this, batted balls or turnovers or whatever there may be. There's not a regression for that. You obviously know that he's going to have a bad game. But for me, I really wanted to look over the tape in detail for that first half to say, okay, what were they doing? Or was that really more the play calling that had that offense looking so different that first half? It was very different to not even see him attempt, like the first two games, Vegas and Bengals. I know within that first, if it wasn't the first play, it was definitely within the first three plays, he's throwing the ball downfield. And he did not even, like on the definitely within the first three plays, Andy's throwing the ball downfield. He didn't do that yesterday. So that's a mystery to me and something I want to look into more. Appreciate the question, Ali Badr. He says, Damon, how was your time in Chicago? My time in Chicago was actually, it was great. I got family up in Chicago. Shouts out to all of my family that is in Chicago. Did not see nearly as many of them as I wanted to. I know last year I was able to have some family even come to the game and, see them there. And then I was able to go out and see some family. But from that perspective of being able to see a lot of family, it was a pretty good time. I actually drove through the city, which as many times I've been in Chicago, I can't tell you the last time I went through the city. So it was cool to kind of see the city. So not a bad time in Chicago for me personally. Did I get some deep dish pizza? I guess I did. So the other day, I went and got some pizza after the game. I went and got some pizza. They're like best pizza in the county, whatever county I was staying at the time. Didn't eat it last night. I went to eat it this morning before I left, and it looked like in my opinion, I was thinking like, is this like cafeteria pizza from back in high school? Because I guess it was deep dish, and I'm not a deep dish pizza fan. And I guess if I am going to eat deep dish pizza, it needs to be fresh and hot. So I ended up throwing it away. Did not eat any of the pizza. Sorry. John the Fisherman. Right now this team feels like that old car that every time you fix one thing, something else breaks, but you love it too much to get a new one. I gotta find some more sound effects, but I'll give you this on that one, John. Definitely that old car that you just keep it. I had a green Pontiac that I know my wife could attest to that I kept for a long time and finally got rid of it shortly after we got married. But I liked it. Eat more burgers, saying I'm not sure who you're talking about there. A little bit earlier. Well, so we got some people from Raleigh that tuned in. Appreciate it. B Stallion checking in, which I appreciate you doing so. Time to get Thomas back out. Yeah, Ian Thomas is progressing. He progressed pretty well last week in his first week back, being eligible to return. So I would assume they're not going to rush Ian Thomas back as he comes back. He has 21 days to be activated. But certainly, if he is looking pretty good, which he was progressing pretty well last week, then you can see Ian Thomas back out on the field this Sunday versus the Falcons. Where's that Panther fan that was all about Matt Corral? Bring back Matt Corral. Yeah, that was, oh man, I wish I could remember his name. But we did have a guy that was a really, really big Matt Corral fan, was on every week talking about him. And I hadn't heard from him in a while. So if you're out there, Mr. Matt Corral fan, come on back. We'd love to hear from you. And how about this? Let's have a little humor in the show tonight. So in Charlotte, it became famous once Dave Tepper stopped by there because he was mad at the sign, that this week, every week, somebody grabs a picture of the sign. This week, here you have it. can't fix 6 years of bad decisions quickly. I think that's pretty good. Again, this is the restaurant in Charlotte that Dave Tepper stopped by famously. I think it was on draft night, and took off the guy's hat and walked out, but he was upset about the sign. They have posted this week that you can't fix 6 years of bad decisions quickly. It's painful when you're part of the fan base that's experiencing that, to hear that. It's tough, but it is indeed very accurate. You can't fix 6 years in just a couple weeks. You can start to make some progress, but you can't fix it all. All right, continue to work through some of these comments here. All right, we got a caller. We got a caller. What's up, Dylan?
What's up, man? Hey, I've been watching for a while, so I just wanted to say what's up to you. And I'm at a hotel in Charlotte right now because, I'm from Asheville, so it's destroyed, basically.
Oh, wow, man. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much appreciation for you watching the show, and glad that you're here safe, and hopefully, I heard a lot of support efforts going there. I know it still may take a while with everything that's going on, but hopefully we could be some entertainment for you a little bit and help you get through the times. And I'll invite you to continue to jump on as much as you want or can.
Oh, for sure, most definitely. But yeah, I just wanted to say, man, I hope that, like the last guy was talking about, he was saying that we have a good coach and all that now. And yeah, I really agree with that. And I really like Coach Canales a lot. And Dan Morgan, I thought he had a killer draft personally. I think all these rookies are going to I think they're going to do really well. And yeah.
Yeah, it just gets hard a little bit, doesn't it, when you've had so much lack of success to kind of be like, oh my goodness, and have the faith. But I have been a fan of Canales. I feel like the culture that he's trying to build is a good one. And I do feel like he just has a lot of bad apples that he has to get right, and it's going to take him a little bit of time. And I feel like we'll all come back to the Dave Canales train if they have a respectable game against Atlanta. Now, I want them to win, but I just go to be realistic, right? We may not beat Atlanta, but if we lose like 30-20, we put some points up on the board, but you can see like we just don't have the personnel yet, then I'm still okay. What do you think about that?
If we win, it's because of them black helmets.
I'll take that.
That's right. But hey, man, I appreciate you, gang. I'll talk to you another day.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
So you got Leonard said it was his '88 Honda Accord. One of the media asked about it, but Coach kind of brushed it off. So here's a question from Michael Baker. Did he say something different about putting Bryce in yesterday? I thought he said that he did it because he didn't want Andy to get hurt yesterday. So, Michael, there was another press conference today, and I want to make sure that I continue to let you guys know that I have not, due to traveling, been able to see the full press conference from today. I did play a little portion of about 5 minutes of it right now. But yesterday it was mentioned that because the offensive line was getting so depleted, he wanted to go ahead and bring Andy out and let Bryce get some reps. Now, from what I saw on Twitter today, and I'm going to say, because I don't know exactly, take about this with about 70% a grain of salt. But I think that he clarified today that, no, I wasn't saying I don't care about Bryce, so I'm going to put him in there. But he was saying, and I get it, if you know that Andy's still going to be your guy, and guys could get hurt. Now, no, you don't. You never want anybody to get hurt. Whenever you take a guy out because you're getting creamed, it's not because you want the next guy to get hurt, but it's obviously because you want to try to limit the risk to the most, to the guy that you need the most at this current time, and that's Andy Dalton. That's who he's going to continue to ride with. Appreciate the question, Mike. Let me see if I can go ahead and find it real quick. Let me see if I can take a minute to find that. If I can, I'll play it. If not, then again, I don't want to hold up the live show trying to find stuff. But let me see if I can clarify this for you, Mr. Baker. Let's see. I'm going to give myself like 20 seconds to find it. Don't start the clock yet. All right, 20 seconds starting now. Let's see if I can find it. But I got like 10 seconds left. Let's see if I can find it. 10 seconds left. I don't think I'm going to find it. I'm going to give myself an extra 10 seconds. I'm going to have to stop looking. All right, so I'll have to come back to it. Sorry, Mr. Baker. I really wanted to find that, but I don't want to delay too much. Chuck said he really did make it sound like he was throwing Bryce for the Wolves. He meant what he said. Hey, Chris. No, that's not what I meant. Kent Sullivan. Kent, I think you've been a member for a while, right? Hey, Chris, how many starters are left on the roster? Any idea? I will make that my homework assignment. I can't tell you overall because I know we've had some damage mostly on the defense, both sides of the ball. But Kent, I'm going to make that what I open with the next time. How many starters? Well, you know what? I might can quickly tell you by doing this. Let me see if I can quickly tell you by doing it like this. So, all right. So we have Shaq Thompson, Ian Thomas, Adam Thielen, Dane Jackson, Jordan Fuller, Derrick Brown. I lost count, but that seems like that's about 7. So quick count, looks like about 7 that we do not have. And that's not including the recent of Austin Corbett, 8. If you want to count Taylor Moton, that'd be 9. So hopefully that gives you some quick idea and perspective. Off the top of my head, 9 guys out that would be starters right now. And you know what? I got some super chats that I have missed, and I am terrible for it. So we're going to not do that. We're going to get this.
Super chat.
We got to keep working on it, though. I'm not sure what that comment was from, but Airsoft 101, I appreciate you because you have contributed a couple times just this week. And independent media, we are 100% supported by you all, meaning there's no big company writing us some fat checks to help us operate and fly to these games, take pictures, and do all the stuff that we do. So we are funded by you all. Anytime you're able to do a super chat or become a member, I thank you so much because that helps me continue to grow the business and operate it for a way that you all like. It's like a people-run media company. So if you enjoy it, if you can support it financially, please do so. But if you don't have the ability to, I get it. Just hit the like button and subscribe. That's all I need. All right. But Airsoft 101, thank you so much. And hopefully you're still on because I think I kind of forgot about the super chats. Thank you so much. And then we got another one. Here we go.
Super chat.
Pear character holding his belly laughing out loud. Thank you, Michael Baker. Thank you, Michael Baker, for your super chat as well. We'll give you one more. Actually, you know what? Thank you. A little cash register there. So appreciate everybody for doing it. Since we have talked about these comments a lot from Coach, I'm going to take another second to see if I can't find it. Let's see. I may not find it. Man, I'm probably not going to find it. All right. All right. I knew I was going to find it. Here we go. Give me a second. Here we go. Give me a second. Oh, it was I did all that as a very short response, but let me, well, here, I'll play the entire question so it can sound a little bit better. Because it was a very short response. Uh-oh. All right, here we go. Don't laugh at me. Patience is a virtue. I now have the question that you guys were talking about. And I got the question from the media member and the answer, and we'll end on this, all right? Thank you guys so much for tuning in, each and every one of you. Look forward to meeting you, each and every one person that I can. And again, I'm here working for you guys. So if there's questions that you have for a player that you want to see me interview, whatever that may be, leave it in the comments. I'm easy to reach, and I will do my best to get those questions answered for you. Let's go ahead and play this section here that you all have been talking about. I feel like I've been looking for the last 20 minutes. Here we go.
I understand protecting Andy,
Yeah.
but there are some you see on television, social media, that's
Yeah.
like, because you guys have said that Bryce still could be a franchise quarterback, but you're
Right.
saying he would protect Andy, but it sounds like maybe not worried about Bryce.
Yeah, honestly, it was just taking all the things into consideration, looking at the score of the game. I saw it as an opportunity to be able to get Bryce out there and play some football.
There you go. Yeah. So it's an opportunity to get Bryce out there. So we're going to, let me see. Make sure I got through all the super chats, which it looked like I did. Shaked, another one of our great followers, members. Hope you get to feeling better, man. I have been seeing that you have not been feeling good, so I certainly hope that you get to feeling better so that you can come back on the show and provide the spunk that you do. To everybody, thanks for watching. Atlanta Falcons is up next. No practice tomorrow. There has been news every Tuesday, so I'm stop saying like probably will not hear from me tomorrow because there's been news every Tuesday. So whatever news comes tomorrow, you will hear from me, and then we will pick things back up Wednesday. Remember, I'm always inside the stadium, inside the locker room on Thursday. So if you got questions for players or coaches, you got to get it to me by Wednesday because Thursday I'm in the locker room. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Take care.